beingbucks. எல்லா தீபாவளி நல்லா சேஃபாக செலிப்ரேட் பண்ணியிருப்பீங்கன்னு நம்புகிறேன். இன்றைக்கி வந்து நம்ம ராஜபாளையம் டாக் வளர்க்குறத பற்றி ஒரு ப்ரீடர்கிட்ட கேட்டு தெரிஞ்சுக்க போகிறோம். அவர் அதே மாதிரி பஜ்ஜீஸும் பண்ணிருக்கேன்னு சொன்னார். ஸோ வாங்க பார்க்கலாம். கிளைமேட்டும் சும்மா நல்லா இருக்குது, வேறு லெவல் கிளைமேட் இன்றைக்கி. ஸோ இன்றைக்கி ஒரு டவுட்லேயே இருந்தோம் போகலாமா வேணாமான்ட்டு. அவரும் மார்னிங் அப்பாயின்மெண்ட் ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணியிருந்தது கொஞ்சம் லேட் ஆகிடுச்சு. அப்புறம் நீ கிளைமேட் நல்லா இருக்கனால சரி நீ கண்டிப்பாக இன்றைக்கி போயே ஆகிறோம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு கிளம்பிட்டோம். நம்ம இப்போ ரீச் ஆகிட்டோம். ஸோ ஆக்சுவலாக இது வந்து நம்ம பைபாஸ் ரோட்லேருந்து பொள்ளாச்சி போகிற வழியில் தான் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ ரீச் ஆகிட்டோம் பாருங்கள்.
Well, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Willow Fernandez. I have a small place here, about 1 acre of land with a house with a few pets. Just started in Rajapalayam area. So now I'm showing you a small display of the lovebirds. They love this green coriander, and I just had a few pairs, and then they started multiplying. I made a bigger cage, but not very professional as yet. We need to separate them to get better results. There are a lot of issues like snakes come, eat the birds sometimes. Some birds really survive and we lose a lot. And sometimes due to some deficiency in the birds, they even peck each other and kill each other. So I like to show you a little bit of display. Come carefully here because the chickens are here. You have to watch your feet. Drag your feet and walk. Yeah, come inside, come into this chamber here. Yes. Oh my Jesus Christ, what a beautiful bird, and I expected this to happen. Neglected a beautiful young one. Come inside, you also come up inside and close the door please. Unfortunately this mother bird has a habit, a peculiar habit of killing its babies. I don't know due to what reason. She takes very good care. Once the babies are grown and become big enough, she eats off the beak and kills the babies like this. So if we are not careful and on time to remove the babies out, she literally kills the babies like this. And this is something happening in this. Now I have to remove that pot before she starts killing her other babies, which are all inside, and remove all the babies now itself. Or just remove the mother out and leave the father. Yes, that's the best thing to do. I'll take out the mother, this blue one. She's got this habit. At this stage I have to separate her. So I'm going to put her in this cage and let the father, which is yellow, will look after the babies without this particular incident happening. So this is one of the tragedies that happen. And they love this green coriander. I'll just put a little of them. They will all come out. You can see them all coming out to enjoy the green coriander. Another pair is separated here and kept here as well. They're just paired up newly. It's youngsters who have just reached the adult stage, and these separated and kept again in a separate cage. When you keep them separate, you get better results, and it's always better to keep them in separate cages. You get more output. And here we have the mass breeding which is going on. You can see them all coming with the green coriander there. A lot of pots inside. Mass breeding goes on. Sometimes you get there are sufficient pots inside. And even here also, so you get some mortality due to reasons like the males fighting for the same female or the females fighting for the same nesting. They sometimes fight and kill one another. So based on all this experience, I'm now planning to modify the entire cage and the whole setup where my productivity would be more and the mortality rates will go down. Sometimes the cages are not so safe enough. The snakes are also able to get inside. They also feed on a lot of these youngsters. So that's about it. I hope you all enjoyed the small clip of my breeding of lovebirds. Still have to do a lot more. This is just the beginning. Okay, well, now regarding the feeding habits of these birds. See, these birds normally they are known as the budgies. So the budgies, normally you see them in the wild only in places like Australia. If not, they are cage birds. These birds, they survive in the cages. Supposing a bird happens to escape from my cage, the survival rate of that bird is, I would say, very less. It invariably is killed by some other crows or any other bird. They cannot survive here in the wild. They depend on people like us to breed them in the cages. And the normal feed is tena. This is a grain they call it, commonly known as tena, or you can call it millet or whatever. They eat the inside of it and remove the husk. So a lot of people having these birds, they make a very big mistake. They look at the cage, they say, oh, the grain is always there inside. But it will be only husk. The real grains would not be there. They've eaten all the grains. So the birds are kept starved for a couple of days, they are dead, or they will not breed. We cannot expect it to breed. We have to make sure that tena and water is available for them 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year. This kotamali or tulasi or these kind of greens, also they enjoy a little bit of quantities now and again. Then for them to get vitamins, they need sand. Natural sand is very good vitamin. And then also we put something known as the kadal nora, they call it. It contains a lot of calcium. That also is always kept in the cage. For them, they need calcium. And then they also need some of the vitamins. Sometimes we do give them some big complex syrup and things when required. Mix it in the water and give. So that's how you feed these birds. But they need to be protected and kept from cats and not to be disturbed by snakes and dogs, or they should be well protected and kept at higher levels, raised up. So that's about it.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to talk to you all about fishes. I have a small aquarium with a few fishes. I have fishes like the red swordtails, then I have the black mollies, the white mollies, spotted mollies, all breeding pretty well in this small, you can see this tank here. So this is the size of the tank, and then you have all of them in this small tank. You need to see that the water is fresh and proper oxygen in the water, and change the water frequently, at least once in a month or once in 2 months, depending on how much of sunlight and moss that is gathering in the tank. So this water seems to be pretty good for these, are breeding pretty well into this tank. You can see the red swords, the white mollies, the black mollies, and we have some spotted mollies as well. The big pregnant females are there. They need adequate sunlight and not too much as well, so I kept it under the shady tree and partially covered them also. And they are basically freshwater fish, but they are okay with the well water that I'm using right now. And of course rain comes and they get mixed up, and they are okay in this particular environment. They're breeding pretty well. Then I can show you, the next is the guppies. I bought a pair of guppies, a trio, 1 male and 2 females. This is the tank, you can see over here, it's an oval shape. I just bought 2 rings and a cover at the bottom, sealed them up, and I put only fantail guppies to breed in this. I had 1 pair, now they have littered and they have already started multiplying. You can see the male fantail green one, which is a kind of a rare type of a male. See, it's continuously mating with that female there. And here you see another female who's pregnant. They have littered. You can see a lot of tiny ones also that are already here. There you can see a lot of small tiny ones there inside that glittered about 3-4 days back. Yeah, see, can you see two here? Two tiny ones. They're all fantail guppies. They litter around 15-16 at a time, approximately at an average. It depends on how big the mother is. If it's a very big female, it litters more. But smaller in size, they litter a few. However, they keep breeding pretty well, and in fact, even if you don't feed them, they survive due to the mosquito larvae and the moss that gathers within the tank. So that's about the guppies, fantail guppies. Hope you'll enjoy that small video.
Get a little bit of gasoline. Welcome to another crime scene. Get a little bit of gasoline.